The private villa in Mykonos was absolutely unhinged. That was Nova's first thought when she stepped through the glass doors of the Ethon estate, perched like a crown above the Aegean Sea. The water below was that ridiculous shade of turquoise that looked AI-generated. The sky was doing too much. Everything about this place screamed old money having a moment. Nova wore a fitted cream-ribbed tank tucked into wide-leg linen trousers the color of sand, brown leather slides, and tiny gold hoops that caught the afternoon light. Her locks were pulled into a high bun with a few loose ones framing her face. A canvas tote with "Unbothered" embroidered on the side hung off her shoulder. She looked like someone who wandered in from a farmer's market, not a billionaire's summer retreat. She was the nanny. Or, more officially, the child engagement coordinator. Which was a fancy way of saying she was there to keep 7-year-old Milo Voss from destroying things while his uncle closed a multi-million-euro hospitality deal over 4 days of barely disguised power plays. Milo found her in under a minute. He had paint-stained fingers, one shoe untied, and the most chaotic energy Nova had ever encountered in a child. "Are you the fun one or the boring one?" he asked. "Depends on the day," Nova said. "Today? Jury's still out." He squinted at her, then nodded like she had passed some invisible test. Behind her, guests floated through the villa like they owned the air itself. Women in silk cords and gold jewelry that clinked when they moved. Men in linen blazers speaking in that low-volume way rich people did when they wanted everyone to hear them anyway. Nobody looked at Nova. She was furniture. Then Ezra Voss walked in from the terrace. He wore a simple black fitted short-sleeve button-up, left open at the collar, paired with straight charcoal trousers and minimal white leather sneakers. No flashy watch. No logo in sight. Just clean, quiet, expensive. His jaw was sharp. His expression was the kind of control that took years of practice. Dark eyes swept the room like a camera scanning for threats. His gaze passed over Nova without stopping. She exhaled slowly. She had been invisible her whole life. She knew the feeling like a second skin. But something about being looked through by eyes that sharp stung different. That night, curled up on the daybed in her small but stunning staff suite, Milo asleep in the room across the hall, Nova stared at the ceiling while laughter drifted up from the terrace below. Her phone buzzed. Her older sister. "They treating you right?" Nova looked at the view outside her window, the Aegean glittering under a fat moon. She typed back, "The scenery goes hard NGL." She did not tell her sister about the laminated, staff expectations, card slipped under her door on arrival. She did not tell her about the guest who asked if she was the caterer. She did not tell her that none of it mattered because she needed this job more than her pride right now. She put the phone down and closed her eyes. In the dark, she kept seeing Ezra's eyes moving past her. But she also kept seeing that one fraction of a second, right before he looked away, where they almost stopped. She told herself it meant nothing. Then she heard it. Two voices on the terrace below her window. Low. Urgent. One name dropped into the conversation like a stone into still water. A name Nova had not heard in 3 years. A name she had built an entire new life to escape. Her breath stopped. Day 2 was supposed to be low stakes. Boat day. Snorkeling for Milo. Polite distance for everyone else. Nova wore a rust-orange one-piece swimsuit with a white linen shirt over it, unbuttoned, sleeves pushed up, hem grazing her thighs. Her locks were loose and saltwater wild. Small gold hourglass earrings. Nothing extra. Everything considered. Ezra showed up to the dock in a gray swim shirt and navy board shorts, sunglasses pushed up his nose, phone already to his ear, already somewhere else mentally. He moved through the world like it owed him focus. Milo was in the water before the anchor fully dropped. "Nova, come in," he called from the shallows. "I can see you perfectly from up here," she called back. That is literally the lamest thing anyone has ever said. "Lameness keeps you alive, babe." A pause. Then, from 2 feet behind her, Ezra's voice. Low. Unexpected. "He's not wrong, you know." Nova turned. He had lowered his phone. He was not quite smiling, but something in his face had shifted. Like a wall with a crack in it. About me being lame, she said. About the water. You should go in. He looked at the sea. It's one of the only things out here that doesn't want something from you. She searched his face for the corporate mask. It was still there. But underneath it, something tired. You talk like someone who needs a nap and a therapist, she said. The corner of his mouth moved. In that order? Definitely in that order. He held her gaze for 3 full seconds. That was new. Then his phone buzzed. The wall came back up. He walked away. Nova turned back to the water. Milo was waving both arms. She sighed, kicked off her slides, and walked in. That afternoon, while Milo napped under a beach umbrella, Nova sat near the shoreline and opened the Notes app on her phone. She started typing. Names. Dates. The thing she had overheard the night before, the name from her past, was connected to Ezra's deal. She did not know how yet. But she knew that name. She knew what that person was capable of, and she knew she was running out of time to decide what to do with that information. She was still staring at her screen when a shadow fell over her. She looked up. Ezra stood there, shoes in one hand, the ocean behind him turning gold in the late light. He looked like a painting she would not be able to stop thinking about. You look like someone who just found out the plot twist, he said. Nova locked her phone screen. What? That look. Something's wrong. He crouched down to her eye level. Direct. Unsettling. What do you know? Her heart did something stupid. I don't know what you're talking about, she said. He studied her face the way he scanned rooms. Cataloging. Calculating. Okay, he said finally. He stood and walked back toward the boats, but he said it like he did not believe her for even 1 second. Day 3. The villa's rooftop. Midnight. Nova could not sleep. She stood at the railing in an oversized vintage tee, bike shorts, and bare feet, the Aegean spread out like dark glass below. Her locks were down. No earrings. No armor. Just her and the sky. She heard footsteps. Ezra appeared in a plain white crew neck and gray sweatpants, looking like the first version of himself that had not been edited for an audience. He stopped when he saw her. Neither of them said anything for a moment. You come up here a lot? She asked. First time. He leaned on the railing beside her, close enough that she could smell cedar and something warmer. Couldn't stay in that room anymore. Same. She paused. The deal going okay? On paper. His jaw tightened. Someone leaked our offer to a competitor this afternoon. We found out an hour ago. Nova's stomach dropped. She thought about the name. The person from her past. The things they were capable of. She had been trying to figure out how to warn him without explaining why she knew. Without opening the door to everything she had run from. Ezra. Her voice came out quiet. Steadier than she felt. I need to tell you something. He turned. The rooftop light caught his face. He was already watching her like he had been waiting for this. She told him. Not everything. But enough. The name she recognized. The history. The pattern she had seen before from that person. The way they moved, the way they used proximity to access, the way they always stayed close to power and picked the right moment. When she finished, the silence lasted long enough to feel like its own thing. How do you know this person? He asked. She looked at the water. They were involved with my family, she said. 3 years ago. They cost us everything. I rebuilt. Moved. Changed my number. Did the whole thing. She exhaled. I didn't know they were connected to your world until I heard the name my first night here. Ezra was quiet. Then, why didn't you say something before? Because I didn't know if you'd believe me. Or if you'd think I had some angle. He nodded slowly. Like the answer was honest enough to sit with. Then his phone lit up on the railing. He looked down at the screen. His face changed. What? Nova asked that he showed her the message. It was a screenshot of a conversation between a member of his inner team and the competitor. The inner team member was someone Nova had seen Ezra trust completely. Had seen him check in with every morning. Had seen him laugh with over dinner. His best friend of 12 years. Nova watched Ezra absorb it. Watched the thing behind his eyes go completely still. Ezra. Don't. His voice was flat. Don't say anything right now. He pushed off the railing and walked back inside. Nova stood alone under the stars, the warm Mykonos wind moving through her locks, the ocean below indifferent and endless. The betrayal had not come from outside. It had been sitting at his dinner table the whole time. Morning. Day 4. The villa had a different energy now. Quieter. Tighter. Like the air itself knew something had shifted. Nova wore a sage green cord set, bralette top and wide shorts, white sneakers, and her locks wrapped in a yellow silk scarf. She had not slept. It showed in the way she moved through the kitchen making Milo's breakfast. Slow. Deliberate. Like she was keeping herself together by focusing on small tasks. Milo looked up from his cereal. Is Uncle Ezra okay? He's going through something, Nova said. Is it fixable? She thought about it honestly. Yeah. But it's gonna hurt first. Milo nodded like that made complete sense. 7-year-olds were sometimes just built different. Ezra appeared in the doorway. Dark jeans, a black hoodie, no performance today, no polished version. He looked at Milo first. Then at Nova. Can I talk to you? He said. They stepped out to the side terrace. The sea below was doing its usual too beautiful thing. Neither of them looked at it. I need to kill the deal, he said. Walk away. Restart with a clean team. It's going to cost me significantly. He paused. The source of the leak, the person from your past, they were brought in by my friend. They had access because of me. Nova closed her eyes briefly. This is not your fault, she said. I know. He looked at her directly. But here's the thing. The only way to cut this cleanly, to get them out of my space without a legal war that drags for years, is if the information you shared with me came from an official source. A documented complaint. Something on record. He stopped. And that means your name comes out. The air went thin. Nova understood immediately what he was saying. If she went on record, the person from her past would know where she was. Would know she had surfaced. Everything she had rebuilt, the quiet life, the distance, the new normal, it would crack open. You're not asking me to do it, she said. It was not a question. No, he said. I would never. His voice was raw in a way she had not heard before. I'm telling you because you deserve to know the situation. Whatever you choose, I'll work around it. She looked at him. At the exhaustion under his eyes. At the man who had spent 4 days being looked at by everyone and seen by no one. She knew that feeling. I'll do it, she said. Nova. I've been running for 3 years. Her voice did not shake. I'm tired. He looked at her for a long moment. Something in his face broke open quietly. You don't owe me anything, he said. I know, she said. That's not why I'm doing it. The space between them was doing something neither of them named. His hand moved, just slightly, toward hers on the railing. Stop just short. When this is over, he said quietly. Yeah, she said, not a question. Not a promise. Just a word that held the shape of something they were not ready to say yet. 6 weeks later. London. A coffee shop in Notting Hill that had no business being this cozy. Nova sat by the window in a camel wrap coat, a cream turtleneck underneath, dark jeans, and ankle boots. Her locks were loose, half pulled back with a brown clip. She had a flat white she had not touched yet. Outside, the grey London sky was doing its thing. Her phone buzzed. Her sister. How you feeling? She typed back, like someone who finally stopped running and realized running was the hardest part. Her sister sent back a string of heart emojis. The official complaint had gone through. The investigation had moved fast. The person from her past was now facing a financial fraud case that had nothing to do with Nova directly, and everything to do with what she had started. Her name had been in documents but not in headlines. Her lawyer, the very good one Ezra had quietly connected her to without making it a thing, had handled the rest. The door to the coffee shop opened. Ezra walked in wearing a dark olive overcoat over a simple cream knit, dark trousers, clean boots. He looked like himself. But softer. Like someone who had put something heavy down and was still getting used to the new weight of his own hands. He saw her immediately. He always clocked her now. He sat down across from her. No greeting. Just presence. "How's Milo?" she asked. "Obsessed with a card game. Claims he invented it." She laughed. Real, sudden, unguarded. He smiled watching it happen. "The deal?" she asked. "New team. New terms. Closes next month." He wrapped both hands around his coffee cup. "My company's fine, Nova." "I know." She looked at him. "I wasn't asking because I was worried." "Then why?" "Because I'm learning how to ask about your life." She paused. Like a normal person would. He held her gaze. The quiet between them was not awkward. It was the kind of quiet that had earned itself. "I kept thinking about what you said," he said. "On the terrace. That you were tired of running." "I meant it." "I've been running too," he said. "Different direction. Same exhaustion." She nodded slowly. Outside, London did its London thing. Grey and alive and completely unbothered by the small enormous moment happening inside a Notting Hill coffee shop. "So what do we do with that?" she asked. He reached across the table. His hand covered hers. Deliberate. Unhurried. "We stop," he said simply. She looked down at their hands. Then up at him. The girl nobody clocked. The man who never stopped calculating. Both of them, finally, just still. The end.